Oh my gosh. It just was really a tough day because we were saying goodbye to each other. But it was also like, oh my God, now I'm getting emotional. What's happening? Whew, okay. Let me pull myself. Whew. Now this show has meant like so much to me. And it's been a tough one to say goodbye to, but I've been so grateful for it.
I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. It's so great to see you again. I've loved chatting with you guys every season. I can't believe it's the last one.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. Really good to see you again.
You know, as sad as I am that Upload is ending, I'm glad that like it gets to end on you guys' terms with like a real ending for these characters, which I feel like is not always the case for every show. So I'm glad about that. And I'm curious, like, how surprised were you guys with where the storyline went for this, final season? And what was it like kind of stepping on set for the, last time into these characters?
I mean, it's been a bittersweet process. We didn't get the scripts till very late, and I think that was part of kind of keeping it secretive. Like we got the first three episodes just, a few weeks before filming, and typically you have a lot longer to kind of prep. And then that fourth episode we didn't get till again, like we were well into filming, and it was like, 2 weeks before we shot that episode. And it was like, okay, surprise, here's the end. And I was just an emotional wreck the entire season. I think too, because Nora's going through so much. But I tried to like just be really present and soak it all up of like, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna be in this room or on this set or like work with this person. And I just had to keep reminding myself, like, okay, just remember these moments, as opposed to being like, oh, I have to just get the work done or whatever, it felt different this time.
It was bittersweet. We were very happy to get to do a final season. A lot of shows get canceled in between seasons. So, good on Amazon letting us come back and give fans a real ending. It would have been rough to end on that season three cliffhanger. There's a lot of unanswered questions. So it was definitely a little bittersweet. We had a beautiful table read of all four episodes, and everybody got pretty emotional. And then when we were shooting, it was like we were really cramming so much into every shoot day that, other than Allegra, who was emotional every day, most of us were keeping it together until the final few days. And then by then, Allegra was so emotion like cried out at that point that she was the toughest one at the end of the show.
Yeah, it's so funny because I rewatched our last interview, and Allegra was like really spot on with her theories of what could happen. She was like, "Oh, I feel like we got to know now, like how many times can you upload and download before it affects you, and like what if you could download into a pigeon?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, did they know?" Or she was just spitballing, and it was like that's what this season really was.
Well, I think the next logical question with that is how many times can you upload and download? Like, can the new existence be, no, no, upload is still kind of flawed and all of our digital afterlives are a little funky, but if we could just keep, like the star-bellied Sneetches, anybody just keep recycling our old body and then upload for a little bit and then new body. And I mean, could we download into pigeons if we want to? Like how many how many? I'm not saying I do, but could you? Like, how many do you get before your soul
Mm.
expires? Or does it? So that's what I want to know next. That was deep.
That was
Mm.
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. And actually, yes, I've heard like also in the last season we were doing a lot of predicting in our like season three interviews. And so much of it is happening, but we had no idea. So it
I
was
love it.
crazy.
I know you guys have all become really close. I heard that you guys have matching star tattoos that you got after rapping.
Mine's
Ah,
there.
there it is. There it is. So what does it mean to you to like, just have that kind of camaraderie with a cast, over the course of, 4 seasons?
It's really special. I mean, we've become actual friends. And I think to keep in touch in between filming, and there's a lot of downtime, and we all, moved and done all of this crazy stuff over the years. So we've actually stayed in touch and grown closer. And I mean, it's been 7 years of our lives, and it's really, really beautiful. And now yes, we are branded together. So there's no escaping the connection at all. And I just love them. I love them so much. I think that's the magical part is finding coworkers that you get along with and that you genuinely enjoy being around. And then, yeah, the kind of sad part that we don't get to keep doing it.
A big part of it is 7 years of my life and a big part of my career and a show that I'm incredibly proud of. The other thing was I didn't know what to get everybody for wrap gifts. So I just said, look, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. I've, decided to get 5 stars for the show and no pressure. But if any of you want one, it's my treat as a wrap gift. And I got this great tattoo artist in Vancouver named Miki, who did an incredible job, and she stayed open for us. We literally went the night after we wrapped, and because a lot of people were leaving the next day, and Kevin was grateful, but said he doesn't have a tattoo, so he wasn't gonna start. And at one point, it was just gonna be Andy and I, because her and I both have tattoos, and then Allegra was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it, and Zainab was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And the 4 of us just kind of crowded into this tattoo parlor and got them done. And I only have tattoos that mean something to me, and this one was pretty cool.
Was this your first tattoo related to a show, or have you done that before?
No, I only have a tattoo with my dad and a tattoo with my wife. This was the first one that's been associated with anything work-wise.
Looking back, whether it's this season or just over the course of the entire series, do you have like a favorite episode or a favorite moment that you're really proud of?
I always love the table read when we first get to town, because it's like the first day of school, you're going back to work, and you get to hear the first episode or the first 2 episodes, or even sometimes like first 4 episodes out loud. And it gives you an idea of the weirdness that you're in for that season. Not to mention it's normally like we have the table read, and then Greg has, the main cast and main crew out for a dinner somewhere, and it's just that first day of coming back and feeling like you're doing it again. Those were always kind of days that stood out for me as being pretty special.
I mean, my mind goes goes back to season 1. And I think we were babies back then. And, but just being able to film, and I think of moments where we all would like get together, and over the seasons, Robbie always like hosted us. And I think 7 years ago, gosh, what was the show? I think it wasn't not House of the Dragon. I can't believe I'm blanking on
The Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
There was, yes, not, yeah. I was like, no, the House of Dragon is next. Game of Thrones. And I remember us like going over to Robbie's place and watching a Game of Thrones episode, and just stuff like that. We've done that every season. And, it's been so special just to kind of create those memories outside of the show. But I think, yeah, just honestly, there's so many memories.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was intense. That was season finale season of Game of Thrones.
Upload has been almost terrifying in its accuracy of like some of the tech predictions over the course of these seasons. I'm curious, like, what's one that maybe surprised you to see that like you guys got right? And on the flip side, what's one that you like wish was real?
God, we got a lot of stuff right that was super weird.
A little scary.
Very. It was like a lot of it would happen in between when we shot it and when it came out, but it was always shot before it came out in real life.
I think that Kamala Harris being VP was pretty insane. Predicting that. I mean, it was paired with Oprah being president, which was pretty, that would have been so epic. But I think the Kamala Harris thing was nuts. And yeah. And uh, I hope the memory parlor tech becomes something that's real. I know there's some company that's working on that, of like recreating like someone who's passed, recreating them. Or like, I just read this article about this guy who's like recording his dad and being able to recreate him so he can have conversations with him when he passes. And I'm just like, this is insane. But I'm like, okay, like I think that that part of it is really special.
I'm not sure what one stands out to me as the weirdest, but I will say I wish there was a memory parlor. I always thought the memory parlor was such a great idea, and being able to relive your memories and see them, kind of in like a movie POV, and that I always just loved that concept.
So I'm curious if you could upload maybe a past character of yours into a memory parlor, like what's one that you would want to go back to?
I only did 2 episodes of How I Met Your Mother. I played a character named Scooby, but it was so much fun, and that cast was so great and so welcoming to me as somebody who, was coming in for such a small time there. Jason Segel was like then just the nicest guy immediately, which that always stood out to me as a show that was such a huge hit. And you know, you hear about people, and sometimes the not that I had heard anything bad about any of them, but like you hear about like people being kind of stuck up or rude, and I've been so lucky in this business. I've worked with such great people, and they always that always stood out to me as people who were like kind of at the top of their game, making such a huge hit show. But I was coming in for 1 episode, and they couldn't have been nicer.
But you've played two different versions of the same character, playing opposite yourself. I was curious if you could take two of your past roles and sort of play them opposite each other. What do you think would be like a fun dynamic?
Maybe my character from The Babysitter, and Ronnie Raymond, and then just one bad guy and one good guy, and see what happens.
I'd love to get into a little bit of spoiler territory. I want to like break down those final moments, of Nora and Nathan. How did you sort of like prepare for this finale? And I mean, if you could imagine another scene, like, do you think that she would bring him back?
Wow. That final episode was so heart-wrenching. And man, it was just an emotional shoot. That particular scene in the bedroom where they're talking and they VR to Montreal was just so, oh my gosh, it just was really a tough day because we were saying goodbye to each other. But it was also like, oh my God, now I'm getting emotional. What's happening? Woo, okay. Let me pull myself. Woo, okay. But it was like they saved it till like the last day of filming, or like day or so. It was one of the last things we shot. So it was also, as Nora was saying goodbye to Nathan, I was saying goodbye to the show. And it just was like, oh, okay, this is like, it actually hit me that this is the end. And I felt like I'd kind of been avoiding it. I don't know what's happening. Whew. But this show's, I'm just gonna stop talking. No, this show has meant like so much to me, and it's been a tough one to say goodbye to, but I've been so grateful for it. And if I had to write another ending, obviously it would be like we would just keep going, clearly, and get to tell more of their story. But what I would love, I guess, for Nora is, I think what was so beautiful is that he gave her permission to live her life. And, she'd given so much of her time to saving him, and for him to say, like, this is your time. So in my perfect world, what I would love for her to do is like, just go, girl. Go to law school, go to what, like, or go volunteer at different, the Innocent Project, like whatever, like do, because she has such a big heart, wants to help people. So I'd say like, go live your life, like have a family, do all the things. And then I just imagine at like later on, she does bring him back and she gets to say like, look, all this cool stuff I did, and I want to finish out my life now with you. I think that's what I would hope for her.
Oh, I love that. All right, that's my ending now. Yeah, you guys just have done such a beautiful job with this show. It's so funny, but it is like so like there's so many like emotional moments that like really get you and like make you think. So, what do you hope like fans take away from this final season and sort of this final chapter for you guys?
Gosh, I mean, I hope they feel like we gave them some closure. Like, okay, and that's so hard to do on a show of tying up all the loose ends, but I feel like we did do that, and Greg and the writers, I feel like they ended everyone's story in a way, at least to me, that feels complete. I wish Luke hadn't died. I think that I wish, that hadn't happened, but I think it's beautiful that he sacrificed himself as a character that has been mostly like self-obsessed and like obsessed about Nathan. Like for him to do something so selfless for others, I think was really a great character arc. But yeah, I hope fans in the audience are just really at peace with it.
Since the show has had such a big impact on you, did you take anything from the set before you left?
Girl, I have 2 boxes full of stuff.
What did you take?
I was like, I want that. I want this. I have 2 mugs from Horizon, like Horizon mugs. And the one's like, then says like, obviously don't be evil. And then the other mug says like, don't be evil, obviously. um, and so I have those mugs. I got like the wristwatch phone
Oh,
thing,
that's cool.
pair of goggles. I got a ring drive. So a bunch of Nora's clothes. I just literally became like an upload hoarder.
Hey, if it fits you, they tailor those things to fit you perfectly. Might as well.
Exactly. Yes. I was like, ooh, this is nice. And she just always wore comfy clothes. So I was like, this is perfect.
In addition to acting, you're big into food, music. What's next for you?
I am really playing in the food space. And so I've got a pop-up in New York coming up next month. And just working on, yeah, being a chef and continuing to see what my next project is going to be as an actor. It's been a minute since I've been, a free agent. So I'm like, ooh, but I'm excited for what's to come, and just soaking up this month, especially, and celebrating Upload coming out.
I love that. Where in New York is your pop-up going to be? I'm in New York.
Are you really? Oh my gosh. Okay. It's September 9th. And it's at Platform at Pier 57.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah, it's a collaboration with the James Beard Foundation. So I'll be doing a dinner with them and highlighting Cameroonian food.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Well, congratulations on everything. Thank you for your time. Like I said, it's been great chatting with you guys every season, and I just wish you guys the best.
Thanks, Kristen. So good to see you.
Thank you. Good to talk to you again.
You too. Consider subscribing if you like this video and get even more entertainment news at popcultureplanet.com. See ya!